Good evening, it's Brian here at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. Oh my god, it's so windy. Anyway, I want to show you this car here, 2016 Honda CRV. Brian is my name from Fitzpatrick's Garage here in Kildare. Family run business in operation for almost 70 years with brands like Hyundai, Honda and Mercedes. Anyway, I'm going to show you this car. We're going to have a look at the features on the outside and we're going to go for a drive in the car, and we're also going to have a look at the features on the inside of the car as well. And we're going to be doing the mostest looking inside here in the workshop because unfortunately it's really windy this evening. So I'm going to have to show you inside. The light's not as good in here. I wish I could show you on the outside, but we'll do our best. It's just the wind noise is really annoying for you guys if you're watching this. Anyway, let's get going. So this particular model of CRV is what is called an SE navigation model. So the engine on these particular cars is the 1.6 super reliable, came out in 2013, it's been around since. It's a really good engine. That is 300 newton meters of torque, so lots of power. You'll see that when we're driving the car in a sec. Fuel efficiency is surprisingly good in these. We sell lots of Tucsons, Sportages. This one's actually easier on fuel and it's bigger. So what we normally see when people come in to get their car serviced, usually these cars are running somewhere in the region of around early fives in terms of litres per 100 kilometres. That's about 50 to 55 miles per gallon. And road tax for the year is not too bad at €200. So as we're saying, the specification on this car is what's called the SE, so we're going to have a look around at the features on the outside. Up front on these CRVs, I always like on these facelift CRVs, big long daytime running light, which is also a parking light in through there, and it mimics the shape of the grille. Two little sections of chrome on the grille are quite nice, and then this skid plate is quite cool looking along the front, and even things like the front fog lights have a nice chrome surround. And on a black car, in fairness, chrome always looks really well. So as we're seeing, we see the chrome at the front of the car with the aluminium skid plate. And similarly, the rear end of the car also has a nice brushed aluminium skid plate with a chrome section along the boot. And as we look down the side of the car, there is also chrome surrounds around the windows, and the wheels are a nice diamond cut finish. Just to top things off, there's brushed aluminium again up along the roof rails up high. So they look nice. But you can also stick 2 bars on top of them as well if you want to put a roof box up high. So we're back in the workshop because the wind just won't give up. Anyway, so the history on this particular car. This particular CRV is probably one of the lowest mileage CRVs that we've had so far, considering that it's 3 years old. Yep, this car has done a whopping 18,000 miles. The reason I'm saying miles, the car is originally from the UK. And the reason being that basically as the year moves on, we end up running out of cars that were originally sold in Ireland. So to satisfy demand, for years we've been going to the UK, but sourcing cars from real, genuine, trusted sources. So at this stage we know our way around the market. So on a car like this, we always source Hondas from Honda garages. This one is a car that's been originally Honda supplied. Full service history in July of 2017. It had its first service, July 2018. It had its second service, July 2019. It even had its MOT. But we're going to put in our workshop now and service it properly. So for anyone that's considering buying a car like this, you can take the peace of mind. It's been genuinely Honda serviced since day one. And the car's had one private owner since brand new. So condition is very nice throughout. So before we go for a drive, while there is still some daylight, we're going to have a look at the boot. Unfortunately, the summer evenings are a thing of the past. Anyway, the boot is really generous, really big compared to some of the other cars in the class. It's deep and there's not really much of a lip on it here. And it's in nice condition. But there's also one other neat trick the seats do. When you grab these levers, very simply and straightforward, the seats fall down and you basically end up with a load area that's as big as a light commercial van. The boot also has a power outlet in through there if you are going camping. You don't have to go camping, but that's just an idea. And the boot has a spare wheel because let's face it, Irish people love a spare wheel. So one thing actually I forgot to talk about is the key. The key's got some functionality. So first of all, the headlights are automated, which means from the key I can turn on the headlights. And I can also let my windows down. And I can also let the windows up, and I can even retract my wing mirrors. The privacy glass actually on the back of these cars is really nice as well. Anyway, child lock back here, electrics for windows in through here. The interior is in very nice condition, but then again, this is a super low mileage car, so you would expect that. So the seat material is in very nice condition. There is Isofix over here, there is Isofix over there, there's an armrest in through the centre. We have 3 head restraints, we have 3 3-point safety belts. There is ventilation in through the rear. There's a kangaroo pocket over here. The passenger side also gets a kangaroo pocket, and in terms of space, When you sit into the car, this is the amount of space. Apologies about how dark it's getting, just the time of year. Okay, so the headroom is pretty good, and then the legroom, as a 6-foot person, this is exactly what you're going to have in front of you. And these cars are pretty wide in the back. Okay, so here's the thing. When you have 3 child seats, it can be done, but it is a squeeze. So really what you're going to have is 2 isofixes and maybe a booster in between. You can get 3 child seats across the back, but it's not comfortable, and only 2 of them are going to be isofix at one point. But if you really must do it, I have seen people do it all right, but it's definitely a squeeze. So let's pop on the front. Electrics for windows and mirrors. Eco function, which I'll talk about in a sec. Parking sensors front and rear in through there, and then after that traction control and all that kind of stuff. The seat, similarly, just like the rear seats, condition is very, very nice in this car all the way through. Lumbar support here for lower back. We can also raise or lower the height of the seat, and the steering wheel has a rake reach function, which we'll see when we're driving the car. So when you sit in the car, this is the view that you're going to see in front of you. Over here we have radio and other functionality we'll talk about in a sec. Big white screen or clocks in through here, so as we're saying, just about 18,500 miles. Revolution counter in through here. These little brackets change to green when you're driving economically, and that relates to your eco function when you have that turned on. Also, the eco function will reduce how aggressive the cruise control and the air conditioner is. It's just to do with really saving fuel. Other things, like as you'd imagine, the car will stop when you meet traffic lights, but when you drive away, obviously that will start up by itself again. Like what we talked about outside, headlights are in an automatic function, and then wipers over here are completely automated also. On the steering wheel, we talked about already, there is cruise control in through here with a speed limiter, and then over here we have controls for radio. Bluetooth is down through there, and then we have our trip computer information, which manipulates information in through here, like things like average speed, fuel efficiency, all that kind of information comes in through there. As we move off to our left, this button over here controls the IMID up here, which is information such as a blank screen, the time. There's also things like, we'll say, radio station, or the best one is our average speed, how much fuel you got left, time. And as we move back out of there, then we have our big Honda Connect, which is going to give me my reverse camera, which links to my front and rear parking sensors with different settings on the camera. And the radio then is touch and swipe in an Android fashion, so I'll have my Garmin navigation in through here, phone information, general audio information, and general settings over here. And even if I want, I have things like an internet browser if I want to, which is absolutely pointless, because why would you be doing that in your car? But for some reason it's cool to have it. Anyway, the other thing as well, as we move over through here, handbrake, drinks holder, and in through here then I have USB connectors, HDMI and 12 volt power. One area you would never consider about looking at, up here. So this is an electrochromatic rear mirror, so which basically means it darkens itself as nighttime. There's no daytime nighttime switch. But up here you have your sunglasses holder, which also has a second mirror. So this looks at the people in the back, it's called a conversation mirror, whereas this one looks out through the back window. So let's go for a drive in the car. So I must apologise for how dark it has gotten in the video. God almighty, like it's only 8:10 at night. Anyway, that's just the way things are. So, first thing on these cars is there is a lovely high gear stick. It's nice and high up. It's a nice place to be overall. Lots of people used to ask us in these when they came in to look at them first, what do they like to drive in terms of power? You'll see yourself, there is loads of power. Everyone that drives one of these gets out and kind of says to themselves, you know what, that was actually a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. So unless you are in a very small percentile of people, I'm pretty damn sure you're going to be happy with power in this car. So, first gear, into second. Such a nice place where that gear stick is. It's up high into third gear. We'll have a look at the acceleration better in a sec. This car's got 18,000 miles in it. It drives like an 18,000 mile car. Quiet. Steering feels good. We'll see in a second when we get onto the back road. So hopefully this view here will give you a bit more of a point of view of what the car is like to drive. So I'm just going to pull out. We're going to start off in first gear. Second. Into third. And there you go, there's 100 kilometers an hour. These CRVs, in terms of how they drive, it's a big old Jeep, to be fair. Well, it is an SUV, but it doesn't feel awkward. So it doesn't really pitch and roll, and be quite confident on it. So we're doing nearly 100 kilometers an hour now on the back road, and there's a couple of little divots and twists and things like that, and I'm pretty confident in it anyway. In terms of this particular example, steering feels good, brakes feel good, cabin is quiet. It's a very nice example. So there you have it, that is our 2016 SE NAVi DTEC Honda CRV. Brian is my name. If there's any information you want on the car, call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits. I'll be happy to go through trade information. God, it's so dark and windy. What is the story of this video? Call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits. If you want information about your own car, if you want information about the car you looked at, if you want information about financing, anything like that before you travel, give me a buzz. And hopefully the car's of interest. Thanks for taking time to watch.